What is good, y'all? It is your boy, The Shells, and if you're new to the channel, welcome to Shells World TV, okay? Now, before I start with this video, I need you to like it, share it with all your people, okay? If you already subscribed to my channel. And if you're new, once again, welcome. So this is a Throwback Thursday video again, and I'm going to be talking about how listening to music has evolved from since when I was a kid, which would be in the 90s. Now, my first time really appreciating music, or at least having an understanding of it, was when I was like maybe say at least 5 or 6 years old. I've gone through many different devices in terms of listening to music, so I don't exactly have this one on me, though I know it's in the house somewhere. I'm talking about the Walkman. Now, the Walkman was a device that played cassettes, right? Now, the first ones was actually made in the 70s, and they were only able to play cassette tapes. The one I had and still have, I just can't find it right now, it actually has AM FM radio, and you could play cassettes on it. So that's pretty cool. And that is actually where I discovered the tape slow effect. For all the music producers out there who know what I'm talking about. What I will show you is, you know, a cassette for anyone who doesn't know what a cassette is or isn't even familiar with what a cassette is. Now, this is what it looks like. You know, it's a small device that holds tape reels on both sides, and there's actually an A side and a B side, or in this case for this tape, it's one side and the two side, okay? Now, the tape goes even at the end, at the bottom of the tape, alright? Now, a pro to having this was that, for the most part, you could move around with it pretty good. You didn't really have to worry about having the music skip or anything of that nature. Of course, now I'm talking about the pros and the cons. If you wanted to, you could pause the tape. You could even record over the tape. I'm gonna explain that in a bit. Okay? It definitely held up in the same digital quality as a CD. But now the cons of having a tape, a cassette tape, while playing music in a Walkman, or even just in a regular stereo, you know, that's actually the thing that was cool about, you know, CDs and tapes. But we're talking about tapes now. The bad thing about owning a cassette tape of music is that, you see the tape reels in here again, right? If you were to touch it, even by accident, and you know, even if you didn't mean to, you could accidentally reel this tape out, and the tape would kind of be damaged. Now, you could actually roll it back in, because that's what these little holes are for, to get you know, a better organization, you know, of the tape for the music to play in there. But sometimes people would accidentally bend and rip the tape inside the tape itself. So, you know, much like if you were to damage a VHS tape, you know, for playing a video back in the days, and they were very fragile, so you had to take care of them, you know. The cases were very breakable. It wasn't that hard to break, so you had to be careful when carrying those things around. So now, the next thing I'm going to tell you about actually managed to last a lot longer than cassette tape playing for those of us who, you know, again, started listening to music in the 90s. Of course, I'm talking about the CD player, aka compact disc player. I actually had a CD player that was a lot more advanced than the one I'm about to show you. But my father had actually given me this one. This is RCA. Okay? RCA was a very popular brand back in the 90s. This has dynamic bass. You know, of course you could play the bass on, you know, the music. You could actually turn up the bass and have the bass rumble in the headphones. Every CD player came with that standard, you know, to tell you, of course, compact disc, digital audio, right? Look inside. Don't know if you can see inside of that too well. Alright, but it has a laser head there for reading the laser plastic part of the CD. And of course, I have that little groove to put the CD in. You know, they used AA batteries. These batteries are probably old right now, obviously, because I haven't used this thing in so long. You see the date of the manufacture for this thing? That's October 1998. So he's had this for quite some time, and he gave it to me. And I'm pretty sure the thing still works good if I was to do that. Now, the pros and the cons of a CD player. A CD, just to show y'all who don't know what a CD looks like, if you've never seen a CD, I'm not gonna assume that some of you don't know what a CD is, because I'm pretty sure some of you have seen a CD. It's just that they're not as relevant as they used to be. But I just want to show you, for those who probably are not familiar, this is what a CD looks like. You remember how I was talking about before with this part here? See that laser, that little laser glass that I showed you inside, the shine part inside the CD player? I'm gonna show you again. It's right there. That actually reads the disc to play the music digital. Now, you probably will notice this if you were a 90s kid growing up as a teen in the 2000s. Virgin Megastore doesn't exist anymore. Virgin Megastore was a very popular place for electronics. Had a whole big movie collection, a big music collection. Alright? It had practically everything in it. It had about, I believe, 2 or 3 gigantic floors of music and DVDs. Okay? Pretty sure at one time it had tapes. But of course those got replaced by DVDs at some point. It even had a movie theater at the bottom of it, believe it or not. It's in Times Square. It was in Times Square at Virgin Megastore, where the Forever 21 is right now. So, for me personally, right, I didn't really start going into the Virgin Megastore till, like, say 2006, 2007. I mean, it's always been there, I just never went inside. Funny how it closed down after, like I'm gonna say like 2009 at least, you know? So there has never been a time in my life where I was not alive when the Virgin Megastore was around. The Forever 21 store was brand new, so that came after the fact. But back on topic here, the pros first. It was a step up from a tape, because you see, I did forget to mention one con about tapes that's in correlation to the CD. You see, you did have tracks on a cassette tape, much like you had tracks on a CD. The difference is, when you want to go to the next song on a cassette tape, you had to fast forward or rewind. Okay? You couldn't just skip to the next track or click to the next track if you were on a computer. See, that was the issue a lot of people have with cassette tapes, is that they might have definitely been worth it at the time, but the problem is, if you really wanted to find a song, you had to rewind or fast forward to the point knowing where to go to for that. So that was an issue. But with a CD, you want to go to the next song, you just skip. Of course, let's remember, rewinding and fast forwarding, it was not really suggested with a CD, and the reason, of course, right now that I'm telling you is, if you played a CD too much, you had the potential of scratching the disc on the back of that laser part I showed you. So, you know, they were very easy to damage. They were actually much easier to damage, especially if they were exposed to a lot of sunlight. So that's another thing with CDs. So the other thing now is you had the possibility of getting errors and skips on a CD if you jumped too much while playing the music. If you're not careful, you spill a liquid, whatever, that CD's probably done for. Let's talk a little bit about the present time, of course going into the 21st century. Now obviously I can't show you this because if you're not aware of this, you should be. There was a time before iPod. I'm talking about the days of Napster. Now, I didn't personally use Napster, but I knew people who used Napster, and they did this as a way to get music exclusively before it even came out in CDs, like people were still buying. Okay? Napster was a website that was able to stream music. Of course, it was illegal, but people did it. People downloaded the music. MP3 was becoming a thing. Very big at the time. You know, this was the first instance of digital music without, you know, having a physical, you know, device. This was the first instance of that. And this, of course, started in the 90s, going into the 2000s. But, of course, it was shut down. I'm not entirely sure if the site is still active, but that was definitely the first one. I didn't own the first versions of these, but of course those were pretty old. The iPod was invented in 2001, okay, and it revolutionized music, much like the MP3 players did, especially because now you could actually play digital music on a device that was not a CD and was not a tape. You could carry it around with you everywhere and not have an issue playing the music, period. Okay? That went on for quite some time. Of course, eventually, to the newer iPods, right, that could now hold entire albums, right? And they could hold, you know, a whole bunch of different things in them. Okay? Not just music. You could now put photos, you can now put movies with an iPod, you know, videos. The possibilities were starting to become very endless at this point. Then of course you get to the present day, where now, if I wanted to, I could listen to music on my phone. I can guarantee you I have at least a good many gigabytes of music in this one device alone. What also is the benefit of the internet added with that as a bonus is that if I wanted to, I could put music in my Google Drive as a file, as files, many, you know, backed up files. Of course, let's not forget the flash drives, the external hard drives. You know, I used to exchange emails with a friend when we recorded music together of MP3s we recorded through software. So that really just shows you that basically music is everywhere now. Now the pro about that is no skipping. There's no physical thing to worry about damaging anymore. You can literally share it any way you choose, whether it be through Instagram, Facebook, a website like Reverb Nation for streaming, or SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, you name it, Google Play. I've recently bought digital albums of artists I like. It's so convenient. The con, the most obvious con of all this is that you can be easily distracted. Definitely take a break every so often when you're listening to music. What has also evolved from listening to music, everyone at some point always had to have a headphone with wires. Nothing wrong with it. Some people still do it. You don't necessarily want to be worrying about wires tangling up and everything of that nature, so people eventually started using these Bluetooth wireless headphones. I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of both wireless headphones and wired headphones. The pros about the headphones with wires is that you actually had a better chance of not, losing them. They are durable, made with better material. Now, the con of having headphones with wires is that if you even drop these headphones, hard to the ground one time, or you accidentally tangle a wire, the wrong way, the microphone will start to go bad within the headphones with wires in them. Okay, the pros about wireless headphones, there's so many. You can connect to a Bluetooth device, listen to what you're listening to with a good range. Bass has definitely improved on these devices. The microphone for the most part is intact, but again, the biggest con is distraction. And these things are easy to break compared to the headphones with wires. They are much easier to break. And a lot more expensive, I might add. But that really is all I wanted to tell you guys. But I also wanted to talk about a device you might have heard of if you're into new gadgets and things. I recently got 2 of these off of a Geek app I have on my phone. It's called the Geek app. You can actually order these. It's called a Bluetooth adapter. You can actually plug it into a subwoofer system with a wire plug-in connection. You plug this in, you turn it on, you can connect it through Bluetooth to your phone, and it'll play just like a Bluetooth device. So I hope you enjoyed this video down memory lane of how listening to music has evolved from since I was a kid, okay? Let me know in the comment section if you're a 90s kid like me, and which did you prefer? Did you prefer a Sony Walkman? Did you prefer Walkmans over CD players, or did it not matter? Because I had both and I would actually use both. But I would say, me personally, I preferred the CD player. Always. Because it was just more convenient and efficient at the time. And also, let me know if you prefer listening to music on your phone or listening to music on a speaker system. Some of us don't care. Some of us have a preference. I just want to know what your preference is. And did you learn anything new today about anything I told you? Definitely give me a like if you want me to make more videos like this, and share it with people, okay? I make new videos for every Thursday. So don't forget to hit the bell to be notified every time I make a new video, okay? I finally have a custom URL, so you guys will be able to, find me easily on YouTube, okay? I want to thank all the subscribers again for tuning into my videos every week, okay? I hope your Thanksgiving was good. Christmas is around the corner. yeah. So once again, it's your boy The Shows, and I will see you guys next time when I upload. Peace.